Hi everyone, welcome to Class 8 video here, talking about some metric conversions. I'm in hidden camera view, you can't see me, but hopefully you can hear me. And so we're going to start off with some metric conversions. Most of you probably know a lot of this stuff, but we'll just review. 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter, 100 centimeters is a meter, and 1,000 millimeters is 1 meter. Now, I'm going to just put up a different way for you guys to figure out how to convert your numbers. Some of you may have been taught to move decimal places, and if that's what you're comfortable with, I certainly wouldn't want you to change it, but I'll just go through this here quickly. It's just another way to do it. So in the first one here, meters to millimeters, we would times by 1,000 because there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. So if we had 14.62 meters, we times it by 1,000, we get 14,620 millimeters. Okay? Meters to centimeters, we're multiplying by 100 centimeters in a meter. So 1.42 meters times 100, we would get 142 centimeters. Centimeters to millimeters, timesing by 10. So if we had 15 centimeters, we times it by 10, we would end up with 150 millimeters. Now going the other way, millimeters to meters, we would divide by 1,000. We had 62,450 millimeters. Divide by 1,000, you'd end up with 62.45 meters. Centimeters to meters, dividing by 100 centimeters in a meter. So 1,200 centimeters divided by 100, we get 12 meters. Millimeters to centimeters, divide 10. So if we had 7,236 millimeters, we divide it by 10, we get 723.60 centimeters. Now, sometimes in these, you'll be asked to round up to the nearest. So if you were asked to round up to the nearest centimeter there, guess what? If after the decimal, 5 or above, that would round to 724 centimeters. Okay, so again, that's pretty straightforward. You will have a sheet with all this in your folder for this week. As I said before, Canada can't decide if we want to work in metric or imperial, so guess what? You are responsible for being able to convert back and forth. There's a couple of numbers we want to remember here, that 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters or 2.54 centimeters. 1 meter is equivalent to 3.28 feet. Okay, so I'm at the top right hand side of the board here, millimeters to inches, you divide by 25.4. So if we had 186 millimeters, we divide by 25.4, we get 7.32 inches. But guess what? We're so smart now, we know how to get that decimal to a 16th. So I took the 0.32, I times it by 16, and my fraction is 5/16 for a final answer of 7 5/16, right? We took our millimeters, we converted it to inches, then we just took that decimal and converted it to a fraction, right? I told you those conversions were going to be important. Inches to millimeters, so we have 4 inches, we times by 25.4, we get 101.60 millimeters. Again, if we were asked to round that to the nearest millimeter, we would round that to 102 millimeters. We're going to get into a case now you really need to read the questions. Sometimes it will ask for decimal place here. Centimeters to inches. So 18 centimeters, divide by 2.54, 7.09 inches. We know we have 7 inches, and you know how to take that decimal and make it a 16th. That ends up being 1/16. So 18 centimeters converts to 7 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so if we're going inches to centimeters, we times by 2.54. So if we had 6 inches, times it by 2.54, we get 15.24 centimeters. All right, now we're going meters to feet, times by 3.28. We had 15 meters, and we times it by 3.28. We get 49.2 feet. 49.2 feet. That number there is feet in decimal parts of a foot, right? So we know we have 49 feet there. We're taking our 0.2, timesing it by 12, because we're still going feet to inches. 0.2 times 12 is 2.4 inches. We know we have 2 inches. And then you're going to bring it home here, and you're going to get that pretty little decimal to a 1/16 of an inch. 0.4 times 16, 3/8. 15 meters is the same as 49 feet, 2 3/8. Super important, depending on what you're working in, okay? Feet to meters, we're just going to divide by 3.28. So 8 divided by 3.28, if we had 8 feet there, we get 2.44 meters. Okay, we only have 2 more to go, and Lori's going to switch that camera there. We have meters to inches. We are dividing by 0.0254. So 2.49 meters divide by 0.0254. We get 98.03 inches. So we have inches and decimal parts of an inch here. We know how to take that 0.03 and we're going to times it by 16. And we get 0.48. We're just looking at that first number after the decimal. Just the first number. Right? So that 0.4 is not high enough to make that a 16. So that number there would stay at 98 inches or 8 feet 2 inches. Conversions, conversions, conversions. Inches to meters, we're going to times by 0.0254, 98 inches, times 0.0254, 2.4892. We're going 2 decimal places, so we want 2 numbers after the decimal. The third number, 5 or above, that rounds to 9. Final answer, 2.49 meters. Alright, there is a class assignment on conversions, and you'll be doing straight metric and metric to imperial. Again, you know how to shout out if you need help. Find me after class on your class days. Set up another time when you're not in the building on Fridays. Thanks.